Hello again everyone and welcome back to the channel. So during Thursday and Friday's trade, everyone's favourite electric pony, Workhorse Group, has experienced some fairly negative trade results. So what we're hoping to do in this video is to dig a little deeper and to ascertain what has actually been going on and whether or not the short squeeze is still a play for Workhorse Group. In brief, I think the answer is a yes, but we'll dig a little bit deeper into that. But before we do that, can I ask that you smash the like button to help send this video into the stratosphere? It is a consensus of stock analysts that every like this video gets sends Workhorse stock a little closer to the moon, which, if we are honest, is the reason we are all here. Also, if you appreciate this sort of content, I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel, as this is one of the best ways that you can help out a small channel such as this one. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So this chart here shows what has been happening with Workhorse since it's garnered the attention of being a possible contender for a short squeeze. It has jumped from a year-to-date low of below $8, which was around here about a month ago, and has hit above the $18 mark on several occasions over here and twice this week alone. Okay, so this is spread out over a month, this chart. What we're focusing on in this video is what has caused the share price to drop in the last 2 days, okay, since hitting a high period which it looked like it was going to maintain for some time. So what this blue line is across here is actually the weighted average value of the shares I have in Workhorse Group. It's sitting at a loss on paper at the moment. The reason for that being is I actually haven't done any trading since we had this high point during the week. So my average share price is up around that figure at the moment. Good news for me though is that I'm not holding my big trading position, which I moved back and forth to help accrue more shares. That's been deployed elsewhere in Marin software, to be more specific, this week. So what this might mean for me here is there's actually a good possibility to buy the dip on Tuesday when trade resumes, if I decide to do that. I'm not sure yet what my move is going to be. So why is the Workhorse stock dropping in price? So market consensus averages Workhorse currently as a hold based on the brokers consulted by Motley Fool. So that shouldn't be causing any downward pressure on the stock. There's also still strong sentiment for the stock and a potential short squeeze, with it still featuring on discussion threads such as Wall Street Bets as one of the top 2 or 3 stocks being spoken about. So why has it had this dramatic dip in the 2 most recent trading days? The first thing that is worth mentioning is that in the lead up to long weekends and public holidays such as this 4th of July one, it is not uncommon to see the exiting of positions by retail traders to a small degree. And this was perhaps a common theme that we saw across a number of the so-called meme stocks on Friday, with an obvious exception being my latest hot focus, Marin Software. I won't talk about that too much more. Alright. However, this does not fully tell the story for what's going on with Workhorse. It was quite a dramatic drop on Friday, with almost 9, I think it's 10% in total went off the Workhorse price just on Friday, plus a couple of percent on the Thursday. So it's been a bit of a heavy drop since those highs of Wednesday. Now, to actually find out what's going on with Workhorse, we need to talk about another company called Lordstown Motors, or RIDE, which I have spoken about in other videos on Workhorse. So as we've pointed out before, Workhorse owns a 10% equity stake that it has to hold for 2 years in Lordstown Motors, i.e. RIDE, that's its ticker symbol. It got this 10% in exchange for licensing rights to their EV technology, as Workhorse is seen as being one of the leaders in this technology, in the industry. It's one of their big advantages. At closing price, Workhorse's stock in RIDE, that 10% stake, is worth $163 million. And that was based on RIDE having a big dip on Friday as well. So at RIDE, it's probably worth mentioning, at RIDE's peak share price, this asset that Workhorse held on their books was worth approximately $490 million when RIDE was up around the $31 mark per share. It's probably also worth pointing out that the reason why Workhorse's stock value is strongly linked to RIDE stock. So Workhorse reported a net loss of $120.5 million in the first quarter of this year. And that was thanks to the hefty $136.6 million charge it took because of a sharp fall in the fair value of its investment in Lordstown, which is directly correlated to their stock price. Okay, so now that we have established that there is a material link in the valuation of Lordstown Motors and Workhorse Group. Let's have a little dig into what's been going on with Lordstown Motors lately and why it's dragging down on the Workhorse share price. So on Friday, according to an article that came out from the Wall Street Journal, the Department of Justice is probing Lordstown. So Lordstown has already been in the news lately for many wrong reasons. So the company warned early in June it may not have enough cash to last another year. Barely a week later, its CEO and CFO resigned after it was confirmed Lordstown had inflated the number of pre-orders for its electric pickup Endurance, the car that's supposed to begin production later this year. I think September is the month they are hoping to get started if they have the cash. The Securities and Exchange Commission was already investigating Lordstown, again for the inflated numbers that had been coming up from the CEO and CFO. So this latest rumour regarding the Department of Justice may mean that the SEC may have actually found something that warrants a DOJ probe. So all of the price action we've seen in recent weeks and months for Lordstown is kind of stemmed to this news. So if you have a look here, Lordstown had a $31.80 high, and we know that Workhorse Group hit a big dip when it came up that they did not get that contract with the US Postal Service. That didn't actually hurt Lordstown too much because their business is not, in electric vans. They are selling a pickup truck. Okay, so once the inflated pre-sales data started to be revealed and the news about the cash, we started to see a big drop from this price. It wasn't at $31.80, but it was significantly higher, the share price. So it's brought us down into this range here in the last month. So in early June, we had the comments from the CEO that they might not have enough cash. Look at this drop here. Okay, this was the day that the CEO and CFO resigned, and this here is what happened on Friday with the publishing of that article and the rumours that the Department of Justice may be investigating Lordstown Motors. So you can see how news is actually affecting this stock quite a bit, and as a result of the strong material link between Workhorse and Lordstown, it's affecting the share price of Workhorse as well. So is there still hope? Both stocks experienced a very similar pattern of trade on Friday, with the sharp drop coming at almost identical times, as you can see on these side-by-side charts here. And overall the pattern of trade was pretty similar through the day. Like, these charts look almost identical. Perhaps encouragingly for those who are playing the long game with one or both of these stocks is that both experienced gains in the aftermarket trading window, which saw them both gain back some of the losses that they endured during the day. This perhaps reflects some of the more bullish investors in the stock identifying an opportunity to buy the dip. Of course, it remains to be seen if there will be any more losses for the two stocks when trade resumes on Tuesday, but that is still an encouraging sign nonetheless. So what's the outlook for Workhorse and Ride, and what about the Workhorse short squeeze? So at this stage, there is nothing concrete coming out around the SEC and DOJ actions towards or investigations towards Ride. So that's an encouraging sign. No news is kind of good news on this front, I hope. Anyway, Ride is currently looking for long-term replacements for its CEO and CFO, and I'm sure when these announcements are made, there's going to be a fairly positive reaction to their share price, and in turn will be quite positive for Workhorse as well. It would be quite interesting if there was to actually be some sort of combination of the two companies that would solve a lot of problems, but I think they want to kind of stay separate because they're both trying to really prove themselves in the business landscape at the moment. Ride will begin to look more attractive if they are able to start delivering later this year. So as long as they can find the cash and start delivering the vehicles, I think that's going to be really positive for Ride's stock price. Now, regarding the short squeeze, since my last check, the estimated Workhorse short interest is up around 36% from 30%. So no doubt there was some short sellers the other day who were able to get out of their positions, but I still think there is a bit of a short squeeze to occur. So in terms of Workhorse longer term, they are due to start delivering a higher quantity of vans later this year as their production picks up and they start fulfilling some of those orders that they have. And this will be really good because it will mean that from an accounting perspective anyway, they can start to show income and that would positively affect their balance sheet. So that means there are good things in the pipeline for Workhorse at this stage. And that brings us more or less to the end of the video. Just remember that what I'm saying here is not investing advice, it's just sort of my opinions. You should always go out and do your own research. And if you've got any other perspectives that you think are worth sharing on Workhorse or other stocks, please let me know in the comments below. I'm always happy to hear what you guys are thinking or are interested in. I encourage you again to like this video and help send Workhorse to the moon, regardless of their 10% stake in Ride. We'll get there, guys, don't worry. I think the squeeze can still occur. I just need to hold strong and keep accruing those positions, pushing that price back up to where it should be. Anyway, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel for more stock updates like this. Thanks again for watching. See you guys later. Bye.